On the night of November 24th, 1971, Thanksgiving Eve, a man boarded a Northwest Orient flight in Portland, Oregon. He wore a dark suit, a black tie, and carried a briefcase. He told the flight attendant his name was Dan Cooper. By the time that plane landed, he was gone. $200,000 in cash. Gone with him. And despite one of the longest and most expensive investigations in FBI history, they never found him. Let's go back to the beginning. It's November 24th, 1971. The country is a day away from Thanksgiving. Portland International Airport is busy. Families, businessmen, holiday travelers. Nobody looks twice at the man in the dark suit. He buys a one-way ticket to Seattle for $20 under the name Dan Cooper. Cash. He takes seat 18C, an aisle seat near the rear of the Boeing 727. Shortly after takeoff, he calls over a flight attendant named Florence Schaffner. He hands her a note. Florence assumes it's a phone number from a lonely businessman. She tucks it into her pocket without reading it. He leans in and says quietly, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Florence reads the note. Her hands go cold. The note described a bomb in his briefcase. He showed her the contents, a tangle of wires, red cylinders, a battery. Whether it was real or not, nobody was willing to find out. His demands were simple. $200,000 in cash, negotiable, used bills. For parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. Northwest Orient's president agreed. They always negotiate with hijackers. Always. The plane circled Seattle for 2 hours while the FBI scrambled. They pulled together the money, $200,000 in $20 bills. The FBI photographed every single bill and recorded all the serial numbers before handing them over. At 5:45 in the evening, the plane lands. Cooper allows all 36 passengers and 2 flight attendants to deplane in exchange for the money and the parachutes. He keeps the pilot, the co-pilot, 1 flight attendant, a woman named Tina Mucklow, and a flight engineer. Then he gives his next set of instructions. He wants to fly to Mexico City. Low altitude, no higher than 10,000 feet. Gear down. Flaps at 15 degrees. The slowest the 727 can fly without stalling. The crew knows what this means. He is planning to jump. The plane takes off again at 7:40 in the evening. Tina Mucklow stays near Cooper. She later described him as calm. Professional. He tied the money bag to his body using a parachute cord. He strapped on one of the parachutes. At approximately 8:13, a warning light blinked in the cockpit. The aft stairs at the rear of the plane had been lowered. The crew never saw him again. Somewhere over the dense forests of southwestern Washington, in near-freezing temperatures, in the dark, in the rain, Dan Cooper jumped. Fighter jets were scrambled. The area was searched. Nothing. No body. No parachute. No briefcase. No Cooper. What followed was one of the most exhaustive manhunts in FBI history. They called it Norjack, Northwest hijacking. They interviewed hundreds of suspects over the years. Military veterans, skydivers, former criminals. At one point, they had over 1,000 named suspects. Every single one was cleared. Here is what made the case so strange and so enduring. Cooper wasn't reckless. He was careful. He knew what a 727 could do. He knew the aft stairs could be lowered mid-flight, something very few people knew at the time. He used the correct aviation terminology. He asked for negotiable currency, meaning untraceable, non-sequential bills. He even requested civilian parachutes, not military ones, suggesting he actually intended to use them. Whoever this man was, he knew exactly what he was doing. Or did he? Because here is the other side of the coin. He jumped into one of the most unforgiving stretches of wilderness in America. In the dark. In November. In a business suit. Most skydiving experts who studied the case said the same thing. Surviving that jump would have been nearly impossible. For 9 years after the hijacking, investigators had nothing tangible. Then, in February of 1980, an 8-year-old boy named Brian Ingram was on a family camping trip along the Columbia River. He was digging in the sand on the riverbank when his fingers hit something. A bundle of cash. Waterlogged, rotting, held together by rubber bands that had long since disintegrated. The FBI confirmed it immediately. The serial numbers matched. It was D.B. Cooper's money. $5,800 of it. Roughly 3 bundles out of the original 10,000 bills. But here is the mystery that deepened everything. The money was found downstream from where Cooper should have landed, and partially buried. How did it get there? Was it washed there by the river? Was it buried deliberately? Did it fall from the sky still attached to Cooper, meaning he never made it out alive? To this day, nobody knows. The remaining $194,000 has never surfaced. Not a single bill. Over the decades, dozens of suspects have been put forward. Here are the most compelling ones. The first is Richard McCoy. In April 1972, just 5 months after the Cooper hijacking, a man named Richard McCoy pulled off a nearly identical hijacking. Same method, same demands. He was caught, convicted, and later killed in a shootout with the FBI. He was a Vietnam veteran, a skydiver, and he looked eerily similar to the composite sketch of Cooper. The FBI investigated him seriously and ultimately concluded he wasn't Cooper. His family still insists otherwise. The second is Robert Rackstraw, a career criminal and former paratrooper who was once a named FBI suspect. A private investigative team spent years analyzing encrypted messages and believed Rackstraw had embedded hidden confessions in letters to the media. The FBI re-examined the case and declined to pursue him further. He died in 2019, still denying it. The third is L.D. Cooper. In 2011, a woman named Marla Cooper came forward claiming her uncle, Lynn Doyle Cooper, was D.B. Cooper. She said he came home after Thanksgiving of 1971, bloody and injured, muttering about a hijacking. The FBI tested DNA from a Ty Cooper left on the plane, but the results were inconclusive. The case remains officially open. Here is the question I keep coming back to. Why do we care so much about D.B. Cooper? He was a criminal. He threatened innocent people. He extorted an airline at gunpoint, or bomb point to be precise. And yet there is something almost mythological about him. He became a folk hero almost immediately. Songs were written about him. Movies were made. A whole town in Washington state, Ariel, throws an annual D.B. Cooper festival. Maybe it is because he never hurt anyone. Maybe it is because he appeared to outwit the entire FBI. Maybe it is the mystery itself, the not knowing. Was he a military man with a death wish? A desperate father? A meticulous criminal genius who disappeared into a new life somewhere warm, spending 20s carefully, quietly, living the rest of his days as someone else entirely? Or did he die that night, tumbling through the darkness above the Cascade Mountains, frozen, alone, swallowed by the forest? The FBI officially suspended active investigation in July of 2016, 45 years after the hijacking. They said they wanted to redirect resources to other priorities. But the case is still technically open, and the $194,000 is still out there, somewhere. If you have made it this far, thank you. I want to know what you think. Did D.B. Cooper survive? Is he still alive somewhere, an old man with a secret? Or did he die that night and take the mystery with him? Drop your theory in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell. See you in my next video.